The world has become one big global stock exchange. And what has made all of these things possible? The answer: satellites.
Hey guys, welcome to FinVise. We all know what major power space exploration holds and how big of an industry it is. And there are some big guns in this race. Here I'm talking about private commercial aerospace companies that work in the field of space exploration. There aren't many, but I'm pretty sure all of you have heard of SpaceX. Even if you're not familiar with SpaceX, I guarantee that you know the talented and ambitious CEO behind the company, Elon Musk. He formed a reality out of dreams, and if you haven't heard of him, you need to sort your life out. At present, SpaceX is leading all new technology and fulfillment of their contracts as per NASA. But initially, SpaceX had a lot of competition to get to the top. And if Elon Musk hadn't dared to play bold, this company would have been non-existent today. So who were the competitors? What is their status now? Do you guys want to know what happens inside space exploration companies? Welcome to the video, and today we'll be talking about the companies that were in competition with SpaceX and how they fell into bankruptcy. Long before SpaceX, the company that ruled the cosmic field, which was in charge of NASA's space exploration projects, was Kistler Aerospace. I know you must not have heard of this company, and that's why we'll be going back to 1993 when it all started. So sit tight. Kistler Aerospace was founded in 1993 by Walter Kistler and Bob Citron. The main motto of the company was to supply NASA with reusable spacecrafts capable of entering the Earth's atmosphere at an affordable price. During the early days of the company, there was so much growth in terms of investment and workforce.
That company is Kistler Aerospace, and it's developed the Kistler Reusable Launch Vehicle System.
A notable fact is that Robert Meyerson, the current president of Blue Origin, was the senior manager of Kistler Aerospace. It was in the early 2000s that NASA faced an issue. It was the end of space shuttle days, and it wasn't convenient to carry on the operations due to the expenses. This posed a great problem in the supply of goods in the International Space Station. This is when NASA decided to give the contract to a US-based aerospace company with the goal of building a new launch system that would supply cargo to the International Space Station. And yes, it was Kistler Aerospace Corporation with whom the contract was made. Kistler had been working on their rocket K-1 since 1994 when they won the contract in 2001 and received private funding. Emergence of Spacex. This is when things took a big turn. In 2003, Kistler filed for bankruptcy protection. The $227 million that they were supposed to receive from the contract was not transferred because of the emergence of a competing firm. The interference of this company changed the astronomy game and shaped the future. This was none other than Space Exploration Technologies Corporation, also known as SpaceX.
Hi, welcome to SpaceX. Here we're in the lobby. It's very white right now, but there are actually some cool elements coming in soon that will make it less white.
The CEO of SpaceX, Elon Musk, who was a nobody then, said that he was not able to understand why a company like Kistler was to receive $250 million when they should have declared bankruptcy a year ago, considering the fact that they still had not completed their prototype of a K-1 rocket, the rocket they'd been working on for 11 years. Later on, SpaceX sent a request to the concerned authority, due to which that contract was withdrawn in 2004. This forced NASA to get back to square one, as they still had no strategy on how to send supplies to the ISS. They had to lay down better ground rules now. This is when Commercial Orbital Transportation Services, or COTS, came into existence.
The vision called for NASA to build great new vehicles to explore deeper in space than we ever done before.
COTS selected new system private space companies to develop new technology that would help NASA to resupply the ISS. As for the funding, it would be given in milestones as they complete certain tasks. The aerospace companies got more involved to get contracted because of this. According to the rules, companies had to pay development costs, which they would get back at the end of a successful project. This made sure that the companies were building something useful that could be commercialized like the Falcon 9. The payment according to the milestone made sure that companies could work freely without any oversight from NASA, and that they would receive a handsome sum of money whenever the requirement arises. The company could work freely without worrying about NASA's approval of things. This was a fair and square deal which helped a lot in the development. Companies started flooding in for the contracts, which was estimated at around $500 million, and $15 million set aside for the admiration. In August of 2006, NASA announced the Phase 1 winners. They were Rocket Plane Kistler, which was rebranded by Kistler as the company was acquired by Rocket Plane Incorporated earlier that year. Even though K1 was still under development, Rocket Plane received a $207 million deal. On the other hand, SpaceX was awarded $278 million. At that time, SpaceX was still developing its Falcon 9 rocket and the Dragon capsule. As per the milestone deal, Rocket Plane only received $32.1 million from the $207 million contract. It was seen that they had the worst performance any space exploration company could give, leading to its termination in October 2007. These events would not have happened if Elon Musk had not raised his concerns about Kistler. Maybe we would have seen the K1 rocket flying instead of Falcon 9. If you've come this far, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. The companies that we talked about so far are the ones which did not stand a chance against SpaceX. The companies that we're going to talk about now are the ones which work hand in hand with SpaceX. From the leftover funding that NASA had, the contract of $170 million was given to a company named Orbital. In the end, both Orbital and SpaceX completed their project on time and received the full funding of the project. At the end of the project in September 2013, NASA gave a public demonstration as to how the cargo would be supplied to the ISS through a Cygnus spacecraft. Orbital commenced regular ISS cargo missions under the Commercial Resupply Services (CRS) contract. The total NASA contract to Orbital is worth $1.9 billion for providing 8 pressurized cargo missions to the ISS. Cygnus is capable of delivering 2,000 kilograms of pressurized cargo to the ISS. The COTS program was successfully concluded in November 2013 after 2 companies, SpaceX and Orbital Sciences, designed, built, and launched a pair of new spacecraft on rockets that were also newly designed. COTS Demo Flight 1 was the first of the launches under this contract. Coming back to our main company, SpaceX, let us see how far they've come in terms of accomplishments.
But when critics say you can't do this, your answer to them is,
We've done it.
SpaceX's achievements include the first privately funded liquid propellant rocket to reach orbit, Falcon 1 in 2008, the first private company to successfully launch, orbit, and recover a spacecraft, Dragon in 2010, the first private company to send a spacecraft to the International Space Station, Dragon in 2012, the first vertical takeoff and vertical propulsion landing of an orbital rocket, Falcon 9 in 2015, the first reuse of an orbital rocket, Falcon 9 in 2017, and the first private company to send astronauts to orbit and to the International Space Station, SpaceX Crew Dragon Demo 2 in 2020. SpaceX has flown and reflown the Falcon 9 series of rockets over 100 times. They are developing a satellite mega constellation named Starlink to provide commercial internet service.
Starlink will effectively serve the 3 or 4% hardest to reach customers for telcos or people who simply have no connectivity right now.
In January 2020, the Starlink constellation became the largest satellite constellation ever launched. Starship is intended to become the primary SpaceX orbital vehicle once operational, supplanting the existing Falcon 9, Falcon Heavy, and Dragon fleet. Starship is planned to be fully reusable and will have the highest payload capacity of any orbital rocket ever in its debut. SpaceX is a private space company with most of its achievements the results of self-funded development efforts, not developed by a traditional cost-plus contracting of the US government. As a result, many of its achievements are also considered as first by a private company. Unfortunately, life is not so good for Kistler. In February 2009, most of its staff were laid off because of the financial difficulties. And in just a few months, Rocket Plane Incorporated went broke. And on June 15, 2010, CEO George French had to file Chapter 7 bankruptcy. In December 2011, Space Assets LLC tried to revive Rocket Plane Kistler and to transform it into a new company, Kistler Space Systems, but it didn't run its course, as the official website of the company has been abandoned since June of 2020. Well, that's pretty much it. This is how every company that was in competition with SpaceX went bankrupt. Now you guys tell us in the comments section, should Kistler get a second chance in the future? Or will we ever see the K1 rocket? What are your thoughts? Thank you for watching our video. For more interesting videos like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more updates. Stay tuned!